Mehrangarh Fort, located in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, is one of the largest forts in India. The fort is situated 400 feet above the city and is enclosed by imposing thick walls. Inside its boundaries there are several palaces known for their intricate carvings and expansive courtyards. A winding road leads to and from the city below. The imprints of cannonball hits by attacking armies of Jaipur can still be seen on the second gate. To the left of the fort is the chhatri of Kirat Singh Soda, a soldier who fell on the spot defending the Mehrangarh Fort. There are 7 gates, which include Jaipur, built by Maharaja Man Singh to commemorate his victories over Jaipur and Bikaner armies. Fatehpur Gate was built by Maharaja Ajit Singh to mark the defeat of the Mughals. The palm imprints upon these still attract much attention even today. The museum in the Mehrangarh Fort is one of the most well-stocked museums in Rajasthan. In one section of the fort museum there is a selection of old royal palanquins, including the elaborate domed gilt Mahadol palanquin which was won in a battle from the governor of Gujarat in 1730. The museum exhibits the heritage of the Rathors in arms, costumes, paintings and decorated period rooms. History of Mehrangarh: Rao Jodha, one of Ranmal's 24 sons, became the 15th Rathore ruler. 1 year after his accession to the throne, Jodha decided to move his capital to the safer location of Jodhpur, as the 1,000 years old Mandore fort was no longer considered to provide sufficient security. With the trusted aid of Rao Nara, the Mewar forces were subdued at Mandore. With that, Rao Jodha gave Rao Nara the title of Diwan. With the help of Rao Nara, the foundation of the fort was laid on May 12, 1459 by Jodha on a rocky hill 9 kilometers to the south of Mandore. This hill was known as Borchneria, the Mountain of Birds. According to legend, to build the fort he had to displace the hill's sole human occupant, a hermit called Chirya Nathji, the Lord of Birds. Upset at being forced to move, Chirya Nathji cursed Rao Jodha with Jodha. May your citadel ever suffer a scarcity of water. Rao Jodha managed to appease the hermit by building a house and a temple in the fort very near the cave the hermit had used for meditation, though only to the extent that even today the area is plagued by a drought every 3 to 4 years. Jodha then took an extreme measure to ensure that the new site proved propitious. He buried a man called Raja Ramwal alive in the foundations. Raja Ramwal was promised that in return his family would be looked after by the Rathors. To this day his descendants still live in Rajban, Raja Ramwal's garden, an estate bequeathed them by Jodha. Mehrangarh sun or sun deity. Garh Fort. That is Sun Fort. According to Rajasthani language pronunciation conventions, Mehrangarh has changed to Mehrangarh. The sun deity has been the chief deity of the Rathore dynasty. Though the fortress was originally started in 1459 by Rao Jodha, founder of Jodhpur, most of the fort which stands today dates from the period of Jaswant Singh. The fort is located at the center of the city, spreading over 5 kilometers atop a high hill. Its walls, which are up to 36 meters high and 21 meters wide, protect some of the most beautiful and historic palaces in Rajasthan. Entry to the fort is gained through a series of 7 gates. The most famous of the gates are, Jaipur, built by Maharaja Man Singh in 1806 to celebrate his victory in a war with Jaipur and Bikaner. Fatehpur, built to celebrate a victory over the Mughals in 1707. Deed Kamgrapur, which still bears the scars of bombardment by cannonballs. Lohapur, which is the final gate into the main part of the fort complex. Immediately to the left are the handprints of the Rainis who in 1843 immolated themselves on the funeral pyre of their husband, Maharaja Man Singh. Within the fort, several brilliantly crafted and decorated palaces are found. Of these, Moti Mahal, Phul Mahal, Shesha Mahal, Silikana, and Daulatkhana are notable. One also finds the fort museum comprising several palaces. This museum houses a collection of palanquins, howdahs, royal cradles, miniatures, musical instruments, costumes and furniture. The ramparts of the fort are home to not only several excellently preserved old cannon but also offer a breathtaking view of the city. Galleries in Mehrangarh Museum, Elephants' Howdahs. The howdahs were a kind of 2-compartment wooden seat, which were fastened onto the elephant's back. The front compartment, with more leg space and a raised protective metal sheet, was meant for kings or royalty, and the rear smaller one for a reliable bodyguard disguised as a fly-whisk attendant. Palanquins. Palanquins were a popular means of travel and circumambulation for the ladies of the nobility up to the second quarter of the 20th century. They were also used by male nobility and royals on special occasions. Daulatkana, Treasures of Mehrangarh Museum. This gallery displays one of the most important and best-preserved collections of fine and applied arts of the Mughal period of Indian history, during which the Rathore rulers of Jodhpur maintained close links with the Mughal emperors. It also has the remains of Emperor Akbar. Armory. This gallery displays a rare collection of armor from every period in Jodhpur. On display are sword hilts and jade, silver, rhino horn, ivory, shields studded with rubies, emeralds and pearls, and guns with gold and silver work on the barrels. The gallery also has on display the personal swords of many emperors, among them outstanding historical pieces like the Khanda of Rao Jodha, weighing over 7 pounds, the sword of Akbar the Great and the sword of Timur. Paintings. This gallery displays colours of Marwar Jodhpur, the finest example of Marwar paintings. The Turban Gallery. The Turban Gallery in the Mehrangarh Museum seeks to preserve, document and display the many different types of turbans once prevalent in Rajasthan. Every community, region and, indeed, festival having had its own headgear. The Folk Music Instruments Gallery. There are a number of different types and kinds of folk musical instruments, some particular to a group or community, and some to a region. Tourist attractions in Mehrangarh. National Geological Monument. The Jodhpur Group, Malani Igneous Sweet Contact on which the Mehrangarh Fort has been built, has been declared a National Geological Monument by the Geological Survey of India to encourage geotourism in the country. This unique geological feature is part of the Malani Igneous Sweet seen in the Thar Desert region, spread over an area of 43,500 km2. This unique geological feature represents the last phase of igneous activity of Precambrian age in the Indian subcontinent. The Chamunda Maturgi Temple. The Chamunda Maturgi was Rao Jodha's favourite goddess. He brought her idol from the old capital of Mandore in 1460 and installed her in Mehrangarh. She remains the Maharaja's and the royal family's Ishta Devi or adopted goddess and is worshipped by most of Jodhpur's citizens as well. Crowds throng Mehrangarh during the Dussehra celebrations. 2008 Stampede. A human stampede occurred on September 30, 2008, at the Chamunda Devi Temple inside the Mehrangarh Fort, in which 249 people were killed and more than 400 injured. See article, 2008 Jodhpur Stampede, Recreation and Entertainment. The 500-year-old fort is a popular site for climbing. It was one of the filming locations for the movie The Dark Knight Rises, which was released in June 2012. Principal photography commenced on May 6, 2011. See also, Tourist attractions in Jodhpur, Jodhpur Group, Malani Igneous Sweet Contact, Jaswant Thida, Mandore, Balsamund Lake, Kailana Lake, Gantuar, Gangao, Rulers of Jodhpur, Hanwant Singh, 1947–1953, Notes. Further reading, Crump, Vivian. Toe, Irene. Rajasthan. London, Everyman Guides. PA 400. ISBN A1-85715-887-3. Benny, Rolov. Matheson, Sylvia. Rajasthan, Land of Kings. New York, The Vendome Press. PA 200 pages. ISBN A0-86565-046-2. Tillotson, G.H.R. The Rajput Palaces, The Development of an Architectural Style. New Haven and London, Yale University Press. PA 224 pages. ISBN A0-300-03738-4. Shurianagar Rigidpa by Prem Bonderi, Maharaja Ahmed Singhji by Prem Bonderi, paintings from the Royal Collection of the Mehrangarh Museum Trust, Jodhpur British Museum, external links, Mehrangarh Museum Trust, website for Mehrangarh Fort and Jodhpur, Mehrangarh Fort information, Mehrangarh Fort, Rajasthan tourism.